Hello everyone, ready to explore some cool Tailwind CSS tricks? Today we are diving into 10 handy techniques that can make your design stand out. So let's get started. Dark mode magic. Tailwind makes dark mode integration seamless. So for that, first let's enable dark mode in our Tailwind configuration. So open the Tailwind configuration, and here in the root level of this object, you can add dark mode and class. So here we have two options, class and media. Class means we will manually add dark class to our root element to activate the dark mode. Alternatively, using media would switch based on system settings. So I will show you example of both options. So let's start from the class. Now for the magic part, open the index.html, and now I will wrap it in a div so that I could add classes on this element, bg white, and if dark mode is enabled, then bg should be black. So now let's test it. So right now you can see that background is white because right now it is using the light mode. So in the body or in parent anywhere, I will just add a dark class. And now if you go back, you will see that the dark mode has been activated. So I can also add the text on to white if dark mode is activated. Okay, so as soon as you remove this class, this dark mode would be deactivated. Okay, now let's try to test the media option in the configuration. So I'm going to replace that with media, and now in the index.html I will get rid of this class. We will not be using that class anymore manually, and this time I will use the system dark mode. So right now my dark mode is enabled, that's why it is using the background color. It is using the styles that are supposed to be activated in the dark mode. Now let me change the dark mode. So here I will disable the dark mode, and you can see that it will switch to the different styles in the real time. So you don't have to even reload the web page. Okay. All right. So next one is customizing spacing scale. If you need custom spaces in Tailwind, then let's tweak the spacing scale. So for that, open the configuration file again. Here I will add some changes. So in the theme section, add another property, spacing, and in the spacing you can add multiple values like 72. So you can put anything here, and you will set it equal to the 18 rem. We have added 3 custom spacing values. Now you can use classes like empty -72 or pb-96 in your HTML. So let's give it a try. So in the index.html, let me add another div here, and let's preview it. I'm going to add flex column here so that it could show vertically. Now I will go back here, and here I will add a class empty. You can see we have those custom 3 scales or values that we just added, 72, 84 and 96. So let me try this one, and you can see that space has been added. Now I will just remove that setting just to show you that difference without it. So if we don't add this, then you will not be able to use these custom spaces. So let me reload it. So as this was already in the Tailwind CSS style, so that's why you were able to use it. But if you look at it, 96 is available, but 97 or 90 is not available. So if you add 90, then nothing is happening. So if I add my settings back, and here I will add 90 and 92, 99, maybe 300. So now if you check the suggestions, we can see all of the custom values that we have. Let me try the empty 300, and you can see 300 pixels has been added on the top margin. And now we will test other options, like I want to try PT, that is padding top 300. All right, so you can use it in any direction, like PL 300 as well. All right, now let's move on to the next one, group hover effects. So styling a child on parent hover is now effortless. So let me show you. Open the VS Code. I'm going to remove this one and let me add. So here I will add two options. So this is the parent, and then I will add the child as well. So let me add hello world here, and in the parent I will add group and hover BG blue 500 and P4 for padding on every side of that div. So now in this child div, I will add class text black, group hover, and text white. All right, now let us look at that. Okay, you can see that when I hover on this parent div, then the background color becomes blue, but at the same time I'm hovering on the text as well. So I'm hovering on the parent. So in the child I have mentioned that if somebody hovers on the parent, I want to set the text color to the white. So let me actually increase the padding just to show you the difference more clearly. So you can see that if I hover on anywhere in the parent, I'm not even hovering on the child, I'm hovering on the parent, but it is still changing the text color because we have added group and we are using group hover here. So group class groups elements like group hover text white changes the text color when its parent with the group class is hovered. Next, now let's talk about aspect ratio with Tailwind CSS. Tailwind CSS makes it incredibly simple. With Tailwind, setting an element's aspect ratio is straightforward. Let's see how it works with iframes, commonly used for video embeds. So I'm going to get a code for embed for a YouTube video. So let me get a YouTube video. So I got this code. Now I'm going to paste it here somewhere. Okay, and by default, this is how it is going to look. But if I remove this, and this is how it will look. And here I will add my own classes like width full. So with that, it will take the 100% width, but I would like to make it better by using aspect video. All right, you can see that the aspect ratio has been applied. So now if you reduce the width, the height would automatically be adjusted. So let me try 300, and you can see that the aspect ratio has been applied automatically because of this class. So if you remove it, then you will see the difference. Let me add a specific value. So okay, you can see that I increased the width, the height was increased automatically. If you don't have it, then the video would look like this. So this is better with the aspect video. Aspect video class ensures a 16:9 ratio, perfect for most video content. There is also aspect square for 1:1 ratio, even aspect auto if you want to let the browser decide. Square. Okay, now this is perfectly square. So we have, let me check the width and height. So width should be 900 pixels. Yes, it is 9. And let me check the height. Height should also be 900 pixels. Yes. So now this is perfectly a square because of the aspect square. So without it, This is how it will look, and with that it will look like this. If we talk about the browser support, I have a quick note on compatibility that aspect ratio utilities use the native aspect dash ratio CSS property. While most modern browsers support it, Safari only jumped on the board from version 15. So if you are targeting older Safari versions, consider using Tailwind's aspect ratio plugin as a fallback. So this is the plugin that I will show you. So you may use it as a fallback if you want to target the older version of the Safari. And next, if we talk about the applying conditionally this aspect ratio, Tailwind's true power shines with the conditional utilities. So if you want to change the aspect ratio on hover, it's easy as this. So for that, let's suppose by default, I have the aspect ratio video, but on hover, I want to change the aspect ratio to square. So let's try it. Okay, you can see if I hover on it, the aspect ratio is changed. So the video starts with the 16:9 ratio but switches to a square on hover. So that's very neat. And it doesn't stop there. You can also apply aspect ratios conditionally based on the breakpoints or dark mode settings. So Tailwind's flexibility is unmatched. You are not restricted to default values. Need a custom aspect ratio? Then Tailwind's got you. So let's try that. Go to the tailwind.config, and here I can extend. So use the extend and add aspect ratio, and I will add my custom aspect ratios here, like 4:3. Okay. Here we have added 4:3 ratio. Now you can use the aspect 4:3 in your HTML. So let's try it. Instead of video, I will add -4:3 like this. And now you can see that the aspect ratio is updated. You can make further changes to see it more visually, so more clearly. So maybe 1:1 and change it. Okay, you can see that this is how it has changed its aspect ratio. Sometimes you need a one-off aspect ratio. Instead of tweaking the config, use the Tailwind's arbitrary value support. So for that, you can add aspect dash 4:3. Okay, this is 4:3. If you make it 4:4, it will make it perfect square. 4:1, this is how 4:1 will look like. Okay, so by wrapping the ratio in square brackets, you can craft any aspect ratio on the fly. So our next topic is using the apply directive. Blend Tailwind with custom CSS using apply. So open the CSS file that you have, and let's create a custom class .button, and here you can use apply, and in that apply you can use any Tailwind existing classes, so like bg blue 500, text white, and yes, everything else looks great. Okay, so actually px4 does not exist. So the reason is that in the configuration earlier we had replaced the existing spacing utilities, so we should not do that. We should extend it. Now you can see that error has gone. So now let me add a button and add that class, and you can see the button is visible. So here the button gets styles from multiple Tailwind classes, consolidating them into one custom class, that is button. Alright, our next topic is filters and backdrop filters. So you can apply CSS filters directly using Tailwind. So let's try that. Let me get a sample picture from internet. Okay, so here in the index.html, I'm going to replace everything. and I will just add the image with the path that I just copied, and now you can see the image is visible. Now I will add the class attribute on it, filter. And so if you add filter, then just let me show you if there is any difference if you add a filter. I just added the filter, and if you remove it, nothing is changed. And after that, I will add gray scale and save it. You can see that the filter has been applied. And if you want to change the filter on hover, you can just add hover SEP. You can specify a different scale filter. So let's see, you can see that if I hover on it, then the different grayscale is applied. So if I hover out, the grayscale is applied. If you hover on it, then a different filter is applied. So this image is grayscale by default and turns sepia on hover. So explore more with the blur and brightness and more. There are many more filters that you can explore. So let us try the blur as well. So if I hover, you can see that it will make it blur. And you can also try the others. So like brightness, you can decrease the brightness, you can change the brightness. So you can see if I hover on it, the brightness has been changed. So you can find more available filters from internet. So Tailwind. So here you can see these are all of the filters that you can try. Our next one is gradient. You can craft a very beautiful gradient effortlessly. So let's try that. Create a div, and in that div, first of all, I will add some width and height. Actually, we can add it to the body as well because it already has some width height. Add bg gradient and to R from blue 500 to green 500. So let's try it. We need to add the width and height as well. All right. You can see that gradient has been applied. So this body tag has a gradient starting from blue and ending in the green. So you can change direction with bg gradient to L. So let's try that. So let me show you here. Save it. As soon as I saved it, you can see that direction of the gradient has been changed. You can also try the to top as well. So let me show you. So in this way, you can change directions. So after that, next one is transform utilities. So you can animate and transform elements with the precision. So let's try that. In the body, I will remove all of these classes for now. Actually, let's keep them, and I will add another child element in the body. That would be div hello world, and let's add class transform, and then hover scale 105 and hover rotate 3. So let's give it a try. Let me bring it in the middle first. So I will add flex, justify center, item center, so that I could see it when something happens to it. Okay, you can see that when I hover on it, it rotates a little bit, and it also increase the size as well with because of the scale. So let me increase the scale value. Let me try 150. So you can see that it is increased. Let me rotate it further. So instead of that, I will rotate 180 degree. There are other options as well. So with that, you can see the content grows and rotates slightly on hover. So here hover scale 150 enlarges the element by specific percentage, and hover rotate also rotates it up to 90 degree. So the next one is pseudo element content. You can inject content with pseudo elements effortlessly. So let's try that. Type here before content dash and add single quote and add hello world. Let's try it. Alright, you can see that hello world has been added with the help of the pseudo selector. I will show you from here as well. This is the pseudo before, and we are injecting the hello world with the help of Tailwind CSS. And other than that, if you want to add a space, if you add it this way, then it will break it. If you want to add a space, you need to add underscore, then a space would be added. So if you really want to keep the underscore, you can add the backward slash like this, and in this way you can keep the underscore. You can also use it along with other pseudo selectors like hover. So for example, if you want to change the text on hover, you will set hover before and then add content dash stack. So let's see. You can see if I hover, then the text is being changed in the pseudo. You may also use the media queries as well. So for example, for the MD before content so by default, let's suppose this is like that. So for the devices that are greater than MD breakpoint or equal to the MD breakpoint, then it will show this text, as you can see. But if you reduce the width less than that breakpoint, then we did not specify any text, so we can specify that one as well. So like before content dash hello world. So by default, this text would be visible, but if you increase the width that becomes greater than the MD breakpoint, then it will show you the different text. All right, our next one and last tip is configurable breakpoints. Responsive design is pivotal in web development. Tailwind doesn't just give you default breakpoints, it lets you define your own. So let's try that. Go to the tailwind.config. Here in the theme, I will add screens property and then add the breakpoint that you want to customize it or add it. So access 475 pixels and then spread the default theme dot screens. I am not only replacing the existing screens, I am keeping the existing ones, but I am overriding and I am adding the extra ones. So for example, here I will add 3XL to maybe 190 1920. So it is saying that default theme is not defined, so we have to import it as well. Okay, so now here you can see we have added two new breakpoints, extra small and 3XL. The extra small is useful for smaller devices like certain mobile phones, while 3XL could cater to large desktop screens or TVs. So let's give it a try. So before giving it a try, I would show you that if you don't add those settings, then these two breakpoints would not be available. So let me comment it out and see. So here if you add MD, you can see the suggestion, but if you add XS, I don't see any breakpoint for the XS, but you can see for the small one. Now if I uncomment it and try it again, you can see the breakpoint for the XS. So let's add something here. Here the first class is text access breakpoint text SM. By default, the text would stay extra small, but if the screen breakpoint is under the extra small breakpoint, then I will change the text size to the small. Add MD text base and 3XL text XL. Okay, and here let's add some text. Responsive text size based on screen. So let's test it. You can see if I reduce the screen size, it changes the size of the text as well. So let me show you here. So this is the minimum width. I will keep increasing it and it will keep increasing its font size as well. Okay. So now our text adjusts size based on these breakpoints. On very small screen, it uses text access, but as you hit the extra small breakpoint, it increases to the text small and so on until it reaches text XL on large 3XL screens. So by customizing breakpoints, you ensure your design look impeccable on any device from the smallest phone to the largest TV. Alright, that concludes our deep dive into Tailwind CSS. Dive in, experiment and transform your designs. If this tutorial was helpful for you, do like, share, subscribe and keep coding.